He's like, Raja? I'm like, yes. I'm like, yes, Shah, what do you need? He was like, Aryan is working on a project. And it's so interesting because I had wanted to work on it. I think like it was really fun to work one-on-one with Aryan and Sashwat. That was a long form answer to Mahadev wanted me there. So I came. That's it. Karma coming, she coming now. She's gonna burn it down. It was a way to communicate with the younger generations and those that are outside of our culture. I always say Sanskrit is my first language. I think we're all fighting in the global category, and if you don't give us our own, we're just going to take over. As you can see, three of them are from us before big dogs came out and stuff like that. But I think our names really have the same vibration. Maybe we can do something for Hanuman.
Rajakumari, Siddhanth Bhatia, welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you. Thank you so much.
Raja and Siddhanth, many congratulations. Your album Sounds of Kumbha is nominated for the Grammy Awards in the Best Global Music category. Did you expect that Sounds of Kumbha would receive a Grammy nomination? Or did this recognition come as a surprise to you?
You know, it's fascinating actually. Maybe because Siddhant is like inside of it, but I knew because we had discussed like this is the first year I also submitted my album Kashi to Kailash. So Siddhant was helping me through the whole process, like when we need to submit, who we need to talk to. So it was always interesting because whenever we talked about Sounds of Kum, just knowing everyone involved, I just had this knowing. And when I saw it as the first name listed, I was like, yeah, exactly. That's what I imagined this would happen. I know Siddhant is cheesing from ear to ear, but I think certain projects, when they have the right intention and everybody puts their energy behind it for a common goal, there's only one outcome that can happen, you know?
There was a collective voice of millions and millions of people who came together at the Mahakumbh. So it Sounds of Kumbh, and it's nominated for the Best Global Music Album category. And yes, it was expected maybe in the universe, but we were very humble about it.
Of
As for
course.
us, it was the music first. It was the idea first. It was serving and doing justice to the Mahakumbh first, which is enormous, So we just wanted to capture whatever we could. So yeah.
And there was such a fervor at that time and everyone being so interested. But I feel like those of us that were able to capture that frequency, it's like we were the Bagalog. We were the ones that were there dancing with like dipping in the Ganga. We were the ones that wanted to make sure that everybody could feel what it felt like. I was just telling the story. There was literally like 6 planets in alignment in the sky, right? You could see them with the
People could see them.
visible
Yes,
eye.
correct. I
So
think
it was a
at the end of Shivaratri, it was very clearly
it
visible.
was like you could see them like a parade in the sky. So it was a very magical time, and we're excited to.
Magic happened. Magic happened.
Yes.
Magical.
But Raja, then how did you come on board this album, Sounds of Kumbha?
You know, I think it was destined, first off. Like I literally was I was coming back from Kumbh, I think, and I got the deck and I saw what the project was, and I was like, this is because I had kind of begun my devotional project with
Yes.
the confusion of would people want to listen to this from me? Is there a market for this? And then to be approached with a project that is in exact alignment to what you were doing was such a validation from the universe that like this needed to be done. And I remember, and I think everyone that was involved really did treat it like seva. Like all of us were there. We did our vocals, but there wasn't the normal conversations that people have about like there wasn't egos involved. It was all about service and about doing something greater than us with our music, you know. And for me, I was so focused on Shiva at the time. Like I was so deeply in my Shiva study um, that I think I needed to do the Durga trance in the middle of that process to have balance. Because I was embodying something. I was doing Shiva Tandav, and it was such a intense place, Sanskrit, and you know, I was playing it for Siddhant at the time. I was like calling him, being like, "This is the 15th verse. It's almost done." So he was hearing all of it, and I think to take that break and just write something, and Durga Trance was almost freestyled. You know, like it just came out of me, and I think it was such a modern way to encapsulate the feeling of Devi, like with those choices of words in English. Karma coming, she coming now. She's gonna burn it down. It was a way to communicate with the younger generations and those that are outside of our culture to relate with that frequency, relate with that energy and that, sacred rage that can come out of situations that, I think that we as a culture, we're able to show the whole spectrum, of the experience. So yeah, I was called to it. That was a long form answer to Mahadev wanted me there. So I came. That's it.
Divine blessing. But Siddhant, which of Raja's songs or performances first inspired you to collaborate with her?
I actually saw Raja for the first time in All About Music, and she was talking about spirituality. And there is when I met her and I talked to her about one of my projects on Ma Durga and Ma Devi. And this is about 2023. That's when we talked first. So I just knew when I was creating Sounds of Kumbh, I just knew that Raja needs to be prominently featured, prominently given that space. And the essence of Devi is somebody that, because her music is authentic, it's very beautiful, it's very powerful. So it automatically becomes global when a global artist comes on board. Plus, she's Grammy nominated. Plus, she understands the ethos of how we don't have to see. One thing that we have to understand here is that when we make music today, the audience, they need to just connect with it. And for that, we cannot make it complicated. For that, it needs to be in a way that it is subtly reassuring them that this is something you can listen to wherever you want. You can keep singing with it. So it has to be simple. Otherwise, if you see, a lot of Indian music is very complex. It is the nature of our music. It is very intricate. It is very layered. So we were just going to create something that will immediately connect to the youth, and who better than Raja Kumari? Absolutely.
Mm,
There was no doubt that
so
she had
sweet.
to carry forward this track.
Raja, your styling and your vocal section in the video is very beautiful. I
Thank
really love
you.
that. Uh, would you please like to give us a few lines of your part of this from the song?
Yeah, I just did the other one. Let me see. Uh, mm-mm, mm-mm, you wanna run and hide? You coming? She ready? Help me to sacrifice. Ooh, there's a thin line between wrong and
And
right.
right.
Only your karma decides. Dinikata taka din din ta. Dinikata taka din din ta. Dinikata taka din din ta. She's gonna burn it down. Come and she's coming round. I feel like that was like my interpretation of Mahishasura Mardini. Like it was like that's probably the first classical piece I ever learned when I was 7 years old in Kuchipudi style. And I did like a whole jati where I come out as Durga and I play like the demon and the Durga slaying. And I think even for the video, I just opened up like Devi and I literally went to this place I was as a child and called Mahishasura Mardini there. And I thought the best place to put classical dance is the biggest platform I can find. And so whenever I get the opportunity, I'm like, I got to show people what it means to carry that frequency. And I think out of all videos, Durga Trance has like full Mahishasura Mardini in it. My eyes are like fully open.
But
Yeah.
do you remember the first lesson that you learned? You just mentioned when you were 7 years old. Do you remember that part, the one you learned in your class while growing up?
Oh no, yeah, it's part of my life, right? Every day. It's uh like I basically use all those jatis and all those slokams, and that's what really inspired Kashi to Kailash. Siddhant and I were talking about the Lalita Sahasranama, and my mom, she learned it when I was very young and she recited it every day. So I always say Sanskrit is my first language because I would hear that prior to English or Telugu or later learning Hindi or Spanish. Sanskrit is like the first language I really heard, so I carry that God frequency I learned through Bharatanatyam into my art. Like Rajakumari, the person you're speaking to right now is like the person who works for Rajakumari. Rajakumari she's like Devi to me. I made a channel of Devi and I carry myself as if I'm her. I look out through her eyes. That's why, like, you never see me bend down or you never see me wear certain things and you never see me behave a certain way when I'm on stage because I do believe that the character Sveta Yella Pragada Rao, this Telugu girl from Claremont, California, made Raja Kumari as a like a vessel of Devi. That's why she has Kumari in her name.
Ah, nice. But to both of you, seeing an album rooted in Indian devotion and the Kumbh go all the way to Grammy is historic. What do you feel this movement means for India's culture and music around the world?
It's very, I think the Sounds of Kumbh is more or less encompassing all deities, all forms of traditional arts. You can hear so many genres over here. So it means a lot. It means that it's more or less a complete showcase of various Indian styles, various Indian dialects in music. Let's say we have just literally tried to bring so many diverse people together. So it just shows how big and vast our music is all about. The scale of the music as well as the scale of the event. When you listen to it and you see the videos, you will basically connect very, very seamlessly with what had happened. Raja, over to
And
you.
my perspective as a little American kid that grew up watching the Grammys every year and literally became an artist because I just could not see representation for what I thought was amazing about our culture. I was like, where's the beauty? Where are the instruments? Where are the textiles? Where are the colors? I didn't want, I wanted them to see that part of us. It is a sign of all the hard work that has been put in for literally like the last 30 years. Like there has been milestone moments that have made the Western public open their eyes to how we perceive ourselves. It hasn't been about their perception of us. There's been certain really important things. And I believe that this year, us dominating the category is a sign of what is to come. And I think us having this like someone like something like the Recording Academy responding to an album like this in such a way also proves that I think there could be an in like how there's a Latin Grammy, I think there could be an Indian Grammy,
Or an
that
Indian
type of
or a
category.
dedicated category for Indian music?
Yeah, Indian music, because I think we're all fighting in the global category, and if you don't give us our own, we're just going to take over. As you can see, three of them are from us. So
Yeah.
if you don't want us to dominate every year, you should give us our own category. So that's what I'm going to say, when I go talk to our friends in the Recording Academy is what's going to happen next year. We're going to take four.
Raja, I have to ask you about your track Revolver from Bads of Bollywood. Uh,
Oh my gosh, so
how
much
this song
fun.
was born, and did Shah Rukh Khan personally reach out to you for that?
I got a call from Shah Rukh, and it was so interesting because the first time Shah Rukh ever called me was in an airport, and I was going to go shoot my music video Shook, and I get a call, from someone from Red Chilies, and they're like, Shah Rukh wants to talk to you. I'm like, oh my gosh. And there's a video of me taking that call the first time, and I'm like crying tears, but appearing normal. I'm like, yes, okay, sure, I can do that. I'm like crying tears. So it was so interesting because when this call came, I was again in the airport and I was about to get on a flight, and must have been 4 a.m. India time, 4 p.m. New York. He didn't know where I was and he just called. He's like, Raja? I'm like, yes. I'm like, yes, Sharik, what do you need? Anything you need? And he's like, or did I wake you up? I'm like, nope, I'm in New York. Perfect timing because his time zone is the world's time zone. And he was like, Aryan is working on a project. And it's so interesting because I had wanted to work on it because I love like I love Shah Rukh and I love the family, and they've been so supportive, and Suhana and like Gauri, and everything has been so like loving that I was like, I want to be part of Aryan's project. So, Shah Rukh just asked me, and I feel like he probably had like a speech prepared, like he's working on this and it's about this. And he just said, Aryan's working on this. I said, okay, great, give him my number. His deadline is my deadline, whatever he needs. So I think like it was really fun to work one on one with Aryan and Sashwat. Like, they were calling me while I was in the US, and we were having these like creative calls, and he was doing the writing and writing it with me. So seeing that come out and just impact and just having them keep using my voice in all like the crazy moments of the series. It's just again, it's just so much fun to not only be part of Shah Rukh's, musical soundtrack of his life, but now part of Aryan's as well. So it's a really great full circle moment.
I was just about to ask you, na, it seems like you've been a lucky charm for Shah Rukh Khan from Jawan and now being part of Aryan Khan's directorial debut. How does it feel to have this creative connection with the Khan family?
I love it. I think like as a little girl that made a vision board in America and put like multiple photos of Shah Rukh Khan. And you know, when I put Shah Rukh, it was one was like Om Shanti Om because I really loved the music. I ended up working with Deepika and Shah Rukh together in Javan. And the second one was Shah Rukh and Gauri with their kids. It was like Aryan and Suhana, and they were really young. And I put that photo because I was like, I'd like to know Shah Rukh Khan. I'd like to be friends with him. I'd like to know his family. I don't want to just meet him once. And I think that that dream has come true. It's just like wonderful to, you know, be able to be a part of their creative endeavors. And I didn't know that would be my destiny when I put it on the vision board, but maybe Mahadev has been writing the story the whole time. And he knew the only way to get me to India was to make sure that the Khans and Madhuri were with me. Otherwise, I would run back. So he, you know, maybe if I wasn't in this country, I wouldn't have learned so much about myself. And, you know, I wouldn't be where I am as a musician, you know, Grammy nominated for the second time and going into, you know, 10 years of myself as an artist and exploring new musical themes. And, you know, Siddhant and I working together is a sign of like a whole other branch of music that I want to be a part of. So I'm just like grateful, you know, for this time period. And Shah Rukh Khan is my lucky charm.
But will we hear Rajakumari song in SRK's next King?
I hope so. I'll give Suhana a call. She's in the film, right? I'll try my luck with the daughter this time, you know, because she's great. So maybe she can get me in this one.
Then how much time it took you to compose this album?
45 days.
Wow.
Which,
Wow.
which song took maximum time for you to compose?
सॉन्ग तो मैक्सिमम टाइम नहीं, ऐसा नहीं अगर ऐसे करते तो एल्बम नहीं होती. So we were not doing it linearly, we were doing all of them together, all 12 happened together. The first song was released on the 13th of Jan.
Hmm.
Ranganek Parva Ek, that was the first one. And the second onwards it was released, everything was before the Kumbh was over. It was 24th tak, everything was already out there.
We were doing it at the same time. It took me
Yeah.
28 days from the beginning of Kashi to Kailash to like the release. It was very parallel experiences. That's why I was really grateful God gave me a parallel friend to go through the Grammy, maybe, you know, the Grammy experience. I did, you know, mine didn't get nominated this year, but I learned so much. And then to be with Siddhant and with all of these musicians, I think I'm amongst all the musicians that are inspired by that because it proves to me to keep going. You know, it proves to me to keep making music, keep submitting it, keep representing us because it's working, you know?
You know, Raja, with greater recognition comes greater expectations.
Hmm.
Do you think there's a risk in balancing authenticity like traditional Indian elements with global appeal?
There's always a risk, but I think that's what we do. We understand how to be right on the edge and we can translate things to audiences, you know, that we've had the luck to experience, you know. So I think that people will always have an opinion that,
Mhm.
you know, classical dance was only performed in the temple. And then during the times, you know, after
Even music,
1947,
even music is
yeah,
that. Yeah, yeah.
like it was only in the temple. And after 1947, when we needed more national identity, we brought these classical arts to the forefront to represent us. And now we're in a new era. And I think that we should be fearless and be like really respectful and conscious about what we're doing with it. But we shouldn't be afraid to take it into the next stage.
Raja, you released your album Kashi to Kailash earlier this year. What drew you to the devotional music, especially since many singers tend to explore this genre much later in their careers?
Mm. Yeah. I think we all go on a journey. I just presented my first theatrical performance of Kashi to Kailash at NMAC, most recently at the Nita Mukesh Ambani Cultural Center. And it was so interesting because I was bringing in elements of classical dance, storytelling, you know, the itihas, like retelling the stories of Shiva and Shakti. And we said it's not mythology, it's mirrors. You know, it's about how these stories can affect your regular life. And I actually gathered songs across my 5 albums that were spiritual and put those in the set list as well to tell the story. Um, I think the pandemic was like a very interesting time for all artists. We had to stop for the first time, and someone like me who had just signed a new recording label deal, from that point of pandemic to now, I've become an independent artist. I made my own label. I've put out, now 3 albums. I did a tour. I took a year off, like I went through so much to come to this place of what is actually important to me. And what is important to me is doing my dharma. And my dharma is to make this specific type of music that blends culture. And I want to be the bridge from the West back to the East, from ancient to the future. And music is the bridge between us and God. And that is what I'm here for. So whether the first 10 years, it was more useful for me to be in a rap space because that's how I could communicate. Now I feel drawn to going deeper into a musical space, a musicality space, collaborating with incredible musicians like I did on Sounds of Kum. If that's what the universe is rewarding and telling me, yes, yes, this is right, then I'm ready to go in that direction. And for me, the new sound is a return to the original sound. Like I have 3 Arangetrams. I did 3 classical styles. Like I did Kuchipudi at the age of 7, and Pandit Ravi Shankar was there as my chief guest in California. So it was a very unique upbringing to have such an immense respect for the classical arts. So I believe the next 10 years of my life are about building music infrastructure, music education, and cultural preservation. Those are my jobs.
Raja, you just mentioned Hanuman Kind. You know,
Mhm.
he was in Billboard Top 10 when Big Dogs released. You have a huge fan following in US. Will we ever see a collaboration like Rajakumari collaborating with Hanuman Kind? It'll be
We,
nice.
we definitely have known each other for time. We've collaborated together in the past, like before Big Dogs came out and stuff like that. But I think our names really have the same vibration. Maybe we can do something for Hanuman, maybe.
So
I
let's
would love.
see if he agrees to that.
Let's see. I think with a name like Hanuman Kind, Rajakumari and Hanuman Kind can make something powerful for the world. So let's
Sure.
manifest it together.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. And
Mhm.
finally, what are you most looking forward to at the Grammys this year? How,
I'm looking,
have you decided
I'm
where you'll
most,
be staying on the stage if you win, which I'm sure
oh,
you will?
listen, the one thing I'm looking forward to is seeing the smile on Siddhanth Bhatia's face. That's it. I will look to his face to see how much it's shining. I'm just looking forward to that. That's it. That's my joy is to see him like a fashion killer on the red carpet. And if, God willing, holding that trophy, or one of us. We just hope one of us gets it. There's 3 of us in the category. One of us has to take it home. That's it. That's what we're hoping for.
We're just going to make the country proud.
Yeah, we gotta light. Everyone has to light a dia on February 1st. That's what I've been saying, so we can bring home this award.
Have you prepared your speech, Raja? You decided what you're going to say on stage?
It'll come from God. It'll be like the Ganges flowing. It'll just come out. I won't have to prepare anything. It'll probably be like Jai Hind at the end. That'll probably be the end of it. Yeah.
All the best for the
Thank you
Grammy.
so much.
And thank you so much for talking to me. And before you go, Raja, for your fans, would you please like to give us a few lines of Revolver and Jawan, perhaps a medley?
Oh, wow, wow. The medley. Okay. Let's see. All right. Running with King Kong, bullets rain down like it's thunder. Ready or not, she got the Glock, she'll put you under. It's game time on the front line till it's over. Deep in the trenches for you, like a soldier. Hold on, her power, you feel it. No time to run and hide. She's coming, you ready? What will you sacrifice? A thin line between wrong and right. Only your karma decides. Karma coming, she coming now. That's the song we gotta sing until February 1st.